What's up, weirdo? Shadetree Surgeon here at Brapstar Garage. Got the whole crew hanging out. AJ, Flip, Bonnie, and of course, Shelby coming on his first group ride today. So we're going about 100 miles. We're going to Port Charlotte. We're going to check out Bert's Black Widow, which is the sister dealership to Bert's Barracuda, which is the dealership near us. We want to dyno tune the Rocket 3 and the Road King Kong against each other, and Shelby rode his Marauder up here, and I don't know, man, riding an 800 with a passenger with Bonnie 100 miles is certainly doable, but why not do it on the Road King?
Yeah.
All right, Shelby, the tech, the master, the Ash Shelby, first time on the Road King. We'll see what he thinks. I'll tell you, I'm actually really curious to see what Shelby thinks of Road King Kong, because the dude has tons of experience on super high horsepower V-twins, tons of experience on motorcycles. He's been working on Harleys his entire freaking life. But he's an old school guy, and it's weird to call twin cams old school. That doesn't feel right, but most of his experience is with big inch twin cams. So I'm really actually curious to see what he thinks about a big inch Milwaukee 8. Okay, you can hear the Road King Kong coming from a little ways off, so we're gonna go see what Shelby thought of this thing. All right, first impressions.
This thing rips, but I hate these air cleaners. My freaking leg is bouncing off this thing all the time.
Oh yeah, freaking beanpole over here. It doesn't bother me, but Shelby, a little Stretch Armstrong over here.
I think the Rocket will take it. I have faith. I'm a Triumph guy too, anyway.
All
I
right.
just work on Harleys.
Oh, always feels good to get on the Rocket 3. The Rocket 3 and Road King Kong in the same video. Haters will call it Photoshop. They do make two very, very different sounds, that's for sure. What's your favorite?
Now, it's funny, people love to jump on a video and say, well, I thought this was a Triumph channel. You never ride the Rocket 3. What happened to this bike? What happened to that bike? I ride all sorts of different bikes and all sorts of different videos. If you just happen to tune in to one video out of the 2 videos I release a week, out of the 100+ videos I release a year, if you happen to tune into a random video and didn't see the same bike you saw in a video 20 videos ago, man, that doesn't mean I don't have it or it's not on the channel anymore. I make a lot of content. When it comes to features, that thing has got this thing whooped. The only feature this has that doesn't have is liquid cooling. Man, the Rocket 3 versus Road King Kong. It seems like it'd be the matchup for the ages, just like the pay-per-view fight. This is the 2 champs, the 2 big boys, 2200cc V-twin versus 2300cc 3-cylinder. But I'll tell you, it's kind of funny, even though I love my Rocket 3, don't get me wrong, the only place that the Rocket 3 has got Road King Kong is in the horsepower department. Otherwise, that Road King, it handles better, it's got better suspension, it's got ABS, it's got traction control, it's more comfortable, it's easier to ride, it's smoother, it has storage. I mean, it's got it in pretty much every single way. And I'm not sure how much more horsepower that the Rocket 3 actually has in that thing, but I guess we're gonna find out today. Oh yeah, as I'm going to stop. It's even got better brakes. I know there's a lot of people that would still pick the Rocket 3 over that bike. Sheer fact of the matter, that's a 2020 motorcycle, and this thing wasn't the nicest bike ever in 2006 when it was new. I've always said there's only one thing that the Rocket excels at, and that's going fast in a straight line. And it would have taken the Road King in stock form any day of the week. But now that it's got that 131 in it, not only is that Road King pretty damn good at going in a straight line, but it handles and it's comfortable and it stops good too. 100 miles away from Bert's Black Widow. As always, huge thanks to Bert's Harley Davidson, Bert's Barracuda, Bert's Black Widow. They're the whole reason I have that Road King Kong. Gave me that bike as a long-term tester, and then I gave it back to them. I said it's not fast enough. And they gave it back to me with a 131 in it. They're good people. They take care of me. And if you go up there and you tell them Shadetree Surgeon sent you, they'll definitely take care of you. I hear from people all the time that they went up to Bert's and they took care of them. I don't get paid by them, by the way. They're just friends of mine. And they don't give me a hard time when I make videos where I ride my Rocket 3 around and I let Shelby ride the Road King that they gave me as a loaner. So they're just cool people, and they don't give a damn what I do in my videos with their bikes. that works out all right to me. All right, see you on 100 miles.
All right, up here at Bert's Black Widow, just hit 100 miles on the highway. My GoPro died halfway through, but it was born highway, so nobody cares. This place is insane. I wish I had gotten us pulling in. I mean, this is freaking out of control, dude. I can't believe that this is a Harley Davidson dealership. And of course we rode the Triumphs. Okay, most important part of the day, officially figured out. I'm always the beer guy, so why don't you leave down in the comments, which one are you? It always weirds me out when I meet somebody and they actually drink whiskey. Don't know why, it just does. Saddle Tramp came into the bar last night, which was super cool, and he drinks whiskey, which weirded me out, because who doesn't drink beer? And of course we got my man Gunner here, the dude who's making everything happen, taking care of us as always. He's like an apparition. He just appears here even 100 miles away. All of a sudden Gunner's here to take care of everything. I just wanted to introduce JoJo over here. She watches the video. She's a salesman up here at Black Widow, and we were just talking and shooting the shit, and she says if you're in the market for a bike and you watch the videos, come see JoJo.
Yes, hi.
Because she watches the videos too, and she'll take care of you.
I knew her before I was here.
And she runs into the same problem that Flip does, and that I go, do you go by JoJo all the time? And it's, what is it?
Yovana.
Yovana, not JoJo, just like Flip is Felipe, not Flip. But they change it for America for you guys.
Change it for America.
Funny enough, I've been doing all these videos with Bert's, with my man Gunner over here, and hanging out at Bert's Black Widow and Bert's Barracuda. And I actually just met Bert for the first time right now.
Hey, can we have a beer together?
Dude, how about 10, man?
A couple of shots?
Absolutely. I like this guy already.
Can we go to the Twisted Fork and have a drink?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're about to go to the Twisted Fork, get some beers. I've heard all sorts of stories about Bert behind his back, and most of them involve lots of beer, burnouts, and raising hell. We just talked to Bert, we just talked to Gunner, so here's the deal. They said, yep, we're a go. They're gonna dyno Road King Kong and the Rocket 3. And like I said before, horsepower is probably the only thing the Rocket has on the Road King, because the Rocket 3 is it's an old motorcycle and this thing is brand new. But I don't even know how much horsepower it's got on it. There's only one way to find out. Deep in enemy territory over here. They got to do a safety inspection on the Triumph Rocket 3, but joke's on them. There's nothing safe about that motorcycle. And out here in the shop, and I don't know how this happens, but you know what always happens to me is people go, when they meet me in person, they go, you're shorter than I thought you would be. And I'm like, I'm 6'1". How fucking tall do you want me to be? And then this dude walks up with his brother. I'm just like, all right, man, I just found my bodyguards for the night. So 6'6". This looks like forced perspective in Lord of the Rings, like with the hobbits and Gandalf right now. I swear he is actually that tall though. What's your Instagram again, brother?
G-Hubbard17.
All right, I'll have it down in the description. I'm about to give you a follow. That's my thing. If I ever meet you in person and you have an Instagram or YouTube channel, I will absolutely follow you on the spot. Okay, Rocket 3 up on the dyno. I've always kind of assumed that the Rocket 3 made around 150 horsepower. I just never knew because I've never dyno tuned it. So I guess today is the day. We're about to find out. They're setting this thing up right now. Oh, the moment of truth. I'm so freaking nervous right now. Make that. Oh, come on. What's she gonna do? You guys, why don't you leave in the comments right now? What do you think it's gonna do on the dyno? Okay, it's still pretty loud out here. I definitely would have been in there.
I'm very happy I got it from that angle because all the fire spitting out of the fucking... Oh god. Fireballs. This thing is like fucking Moby Dick to me.
All right, moment of truth. What'd it do? That was was about what I expected. I always kind of thought it made around like 160, 170 horsepower.
Best part of all that is all the fireballs.
160, 170 foot-pounds of torque, and it was right. I think the max horsepower was 157, max torque 155. That's about what I expected. I'm still stoked to know. I don't want to seem as if I'm disappointed or not excited about it, but if you've ever ridden the Rocket 3, you're not going to be that surprised by those numbers. What I am very curious to see is what the Road King's going to do.
Is that Gene? Yeah. Gene's gonna love this, man. He'll go nuts over it, man.
When you've been doing this for this long and you're around motorcycles this much and you still get excited to see a motorcycle on the dyno, that's why I like Bert.
Hell yeah.
Do it, girl. Fuck that thing.
So here's the thing. One of the things that we wanted to do with this Rocket 3, everybody complains about the stock grips and the stock everything else on this bike. One of the things I really wanted to do was have a Road King that looked like it came out of the factory with a 131 and great suspension. So I wanted everything stock on it. I also wanted it to have a warranty. So
Warranty's good.
warranties are good. And when you have a warranty, you do make some sacrifices. And some of those sacrifices is a little bit of peak horsepower. So my man here is saying that we could probably reach 150. If you had a aftermarket tuner on this and you weren't worried about the warranty, which, by the way, the Rocket 3 wouldn't be under warranty either, they would actually do about the same numbers. That would be it. I really think so. Like, yeah, the Rocket 3 won today, but if all things being equal, they'd probably do about the same numbers. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I think that's pretty freaking cool. Time for the Bonneville to go on the dyno and be incredibly underwhelming.
I just want 3 digits. That's all I want.
You ain't getting 3 digits on that thing. Not a chance.
I don't think I will, but if I do, I'll be extremely happy.
We've dynoed all the beasts. Now it's time for the beauty.
Go away. Go away. Go away.
AJ just walks over here and goes, Flip's gonna need a hug. It's bad, dude. It's bad.
No! No!
We love you, though.
All right, Flip, here's the deal. If it's less than 100 horsepower, you can't sit at our table anymore.
Stop, bro.
It must be 80 stock.
That is the face of disappointment. I feel like these numbers are really close to the other ones, except the ones on the Rocket 3 and the Road King had a 1 in front of them. It is, after all, still Florida. It's gonna rain. Bert himself offers you a wing off his own plate. You don't say no. All right, let's give a real
Gotta
review
try
right
it,
now.
man.
Oh my gosh, you're doing the cool
look
guy
at
way?
that.
All right.
That's a new
All right.
technique.
How you doing the one bite?
That's a honey twist chicken. Honey twist.
Damn. Dude, it didn't have to be that hard, but it does. All right, so it's more than just this Bert. We're sitting, hanging out, and having beers. There's this Bert here who's in charge of the food and just brought out some hog wings. I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty special right now. All right. Good deal. Dude, too much. You want to talk about too much pork for just one fork? Let's do it, baby. Cheers, bud. Dude, hell yeah.
A little hot. That's the right answer.
Worth burning your mouth for, all right?
Good times here at Bert's Black Widow with Shelby. Wait, they walked away. AJ, Flip, and Bonnie. I learned a lot of things about Bert today.
A lot.
I'd never met him before. I learned a lot of things about Bert today that were really awesome. And we had some beers. We had some...
He's a whiskey guy, my kind of guy.
Yeah, well, I'm a beer guy, so that's actually a point against
He
him.
also drinks beer. So
That's a point against him, but I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. Anyway, we got about 100 miles to go home. The rain just let up a little bit, so we're gonna try to take this opportunity and jet back to the Dirty Shame. Yeah, my bike sounds pretty loud on camera until he fires that thing up. Obnoxious even through the Senna. The great upset. The mighty Bonneville that gets all the girls comes up short in the horsepower department. I'll tell you though, it's kind of funny. I didn't really expect that number because you get on that 1200 and it feels so much freaking faster than the horsepower numbers it posted.
Speaking of posted numbers, Triumph claims that this thing makes 80. So
Yeah, manufacturers like to claim all sorts of things about their bikes. Like we said, maybe it's 80 metric horsepower. we were measuring in American. If you guys couldn't tell, it's the next day after coming home from Bert's Black Widow. We had a great time up there, met a bunch of cool subscribers. I met Bert for the first time. We had never met him, even though he's done all this stuff for us, has really helped our channels out. And I would say that they've been helped out too. This is a mutually beneficial friendship. And I would call it really honestly a friendship. It's not even a business agreement because we haven't signed any contracts and we don't get paid. We don't get paid for any of this stuff. But although I guess you could call like getting the motorcycles and being able to use them as a form of payment, to be sure.
yeah, but it's not like we get to keep it. We just gotta turn it in at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, we don't get to keep these motorcycles.
But at the same time, what company's gonna let you borrow something to give a real review?
I mean, they usually do, but the whole thing is usually when people let press whatever, and we're technically press, they let press borrow bikes, they expect a glowing review. They don't expect what we do, which is basically just live with the motorcycles. I mean, we do a review, we do a long-term review, but basically what we do is we ride them around every day and get into trouble and whoop on them and have a good time. And
then they make them faster.
then they say, oh, that wasn't good enough for you? Let's put the 131 in it. I'll tell you, Flip, I was actually really surprised by Bert. I didn't think I was gonna dislike him. Like I said, I had seen a bunch of stories or heard a bunch of stories about him, about how he liked to party and he was a good dude and kind of embodied that old school Harley mentality. And when I say old school Harley mentality, a lot of people think, oh, that's a Harley or no bike and, you know, screw Japanese bikes and all this. But when I say old school Harley mentality, I mean non-corporate, let's party, motorcycles are fun, and we're here to have a good time and screw everything else. Let's just get our knees in the breeze. That's the kind of old school mentality I say that I heard about Bert. And then when we were sitting down doing shots and drinking beers with him, you know, maybe I only met him once, but that's the feeling I got, man. I really liked him.
Well, that was the way he wanted to have a conversation, was over beer and shots.
He wanted to meet us because obviously we've got 2 of his motorcycles. So he definitely wanted to meet us, but he didn't want to meet. He wasn't like, oh, let's go sit in an office and in the morning we'll have our 9:30 a.m. conference press meeting and
We're gonna strategize on what we want you to do with our stuff.
yeah, it wasn't like, oh, we need to go over the graphs and charts and figures and see exactly where we've had growth. I'll tell you what's had some growth is this Road King, dude. That's the only growth he was worried about. But no, man, he wanted to sit down, have some beers, shoot the shit, drink some whiskey. He's a whiskey guy, not a beer guy, so him and Flip got along.
My kind of guy.
All he wanted to talk about and all he wanted to do wasn't about how we could help him more. All his ideas were like, you know what would be really awesome? You know what would be really cool? You know what would make a lot of horsepower? You know what would piss a lot of people off? Maybe all those things together. Lots of horsepower, really cool, and a bunch of angry people. Those are all the ideas that Bert has. This is my kind of dude. So I know the Harley fans are going to be a little bit upset that the Road King didn't turn as big a numbers as the Rocket 3 did, even though it's only about 10 cubic inches smaller. As I've told you guys before, this thing has got a warranty tune in it, so it makes way less horsepower than this bike is capable of. Literally, pretty much just a different tune on this motorcycle, and it might be doing very similar numbers to the Rocket. Although it only made 10 foot-pounds less of torque. It just was a little lower in the horsepower department, and that's why, honestly, on the highway, the Rocket 3 will just walk away from this thing. I mean, one doesn't even walk away, kind of sprints away. Bert did see those numbers, so we'll see we'll see what he thinks about putting a different tune on this thing. The whole thing is they still got to sell this to somebody. Somebody's going to want the warranty on this, but yeah, now he wasn't happy about it making less numbers than the Rocket 3. Anyway, if I got to see you at Bert's Black Widow, that was awesome. Met a lot of cool folks up there. If I missed you up there, I'm sorry. If you tried to say hi to me and I didn't say hi back or something, I'm really sorry. It does happen sometimes. It was a good time though. I think we're gonna go back to Bert's Black Widow again. I don't know, man. I had a great time. I can't wait till they build that same kind of setup over at Bert's Barracuda here in St. Pete. We'll definitely be doing parties there. It's a good time. I like our relationship with Bert's. We don't have to say anything we don't want to. We get to be completely honest. And not only do we get to be completely honest, but that's what they want from us. They've told us both multiple times. The only thing we expect from you guys is honesty. Anyway, that's gonna about wrap it up for this episode of Dino Days, Triumph versus Harley Davidson. Till next time, y'all, keep it weird.